Tequila Sunset.
Tut mir leid, dass ich vorhin so eine Spaßbremse war.
Wonderful. Not much, but it will do. This last one is the most Martinet story I've ever heard.
Er nimmt einen so langen Zug aus seiner Flasche, dass es fast lächerlich wirkt. Gestärkt fährt er fort.
I've never heard it mentioned outside of here. At first, I thought it was a joke, to be honest. But I've been on the coast 8, 9 months now, and in that time I've seen at least 3 expeditions come through, searching for something.
Nach Kryptiden?
Magic animals? No, man, this is serious stuff.
Nach den Schlüsseln, die du verloren hast?
Hey, hey! Fuck you, Tequila.
Nach einem Zuhause?
No, Tequila. Most people already know where they live. It's guys like you and me that are the exceptions.
Okay, was für Expeditionen.
All kinds. I've seen archaeologists, gangsters, even a bunch of ad agency types. I'm telling you, Tequila, this thing's got a pull on certain kinds of people.
Moment, was meinst du denn mit bestimmte Leute?
You know, obsessive types. People with predilections.
Wovon reden wir hier genau?
Some of those expeditions come back after a week or so, looking haggard and dejected. Others don't return at all. The first time I saw one of these expeditions, I thought they were fucking with me. There was no way it could be true. It was just too high concept, even for me.
Wait. There's no way. It can't be. Or can it?
I'm not even sure I should be telling you this story, to be perfectly honest. You're in a fragile state, and it might be too much for you to handle.
Oh, ich komme damit klar.
Okay, fine, I'll tell you. But I'm warning you, it's pretty out there. Our story begins at a legendary design studio, right here in Martinez. There was this designer. His exact name is lost to history, but in life, he was a legend. Made it big in Aranya, where he did some real pioneering work on grotesque and sans serif typography. A fucking genius, man. That is, if he even existed. Who knows? It's an urban legend, after all.
He existed, all right. You feel it deep within your basal ganglia. He was as real as you are.
Was zum Teufel redest du da?
I'm talking about...
Anyway, sometime later he started his own personal studio here in Martinez. And that's when he started working on some really wild stuff. I'm talking some glass-smooth, forward-looking design language, the kind of thing that would totally overthrow the old regime, design-wise.
A paradigm-shattering revolutionary?
But then something turned. You see, it's widely known that nose candy and pioneer graphic design work go hand in hand.
Moment, Schnee?
You know Tequila, nose candy, the white railroad, party powder.
The kids on the streets also call it Snow Day.
Or Emalan gold. For the plateau on which most of the world's supply is grown and harvested, typically by slave labor.
Sinus salt, the white knight.
Can't see, for its popularity among the aristocratic class of the prior century.
Along with a number of more banal street names. Blow, of course, but also flake, powder, pearl. Really, anything that's white will work. He's talking about cocaine.
Ah, du meinst Kokain.
Shit yeah, Tequila. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Er gibt dir einen kameradschaftlichen Klaps auf die Schulter und ein paar Milliliter Alkohol schwappen aus seiner Flasche. Das leuchtet mir ein. Ich brauche auch so einige Substanz, um meine Arbeit auf hohem Niveau auszuführen.
I'm not surprised. Many men find it hard reaching that final level of genius without blow.
Also, was ist aus ihm geworden?
You've got to understand, the work this guy was doing was so high concept that regular amounts of cocaine just weren't cutting it. By the end, they were bringing it in by the lorry load. Now, as you might imagine, snorting that much cocaine can't be healthy for a regular human, right?
Right. Wrong. Do it
Äh.
all the time.
Ständig?
All day, baby.
Hey, Tequila, pay attention. The story goes that one day he was balls deep in work on what he thought would be his pièce de résistance, an advert so minimal it contained neither text nor images, just pure white. Apparently the idea was too high concept even for this genius. He dropped dead right at his desk before he could finish. His last words are recorded to have been, "It's as white as a blizzard of cocaine."
Was für ein Verlust für die Designwelt. Was für eine beschissene Idee. Was für ein Verlust für die Designwelt, definitiv.
I know, Tequila. I know.
Er nimmt einen Zug von seinem Getränk und überlegt, zu Ehren des toten Genies ein wenig davon zu vergießen, besinnt sich dann aber eines Besseren.
But the story doesn't end there. Supposedly, when they performed the autopsy, the coroner discovered nearly a quarter kilo of coke jammed into his nasal cavity.
Ach, hör auf.
That's right. 250 grams of blow had accumulated in there over the years. We're talking high-grade Saramaritsian pure. Not that cut-rate shit your grandma does. There are those who believe the designer was buried with this quarter key of nose candy still lodged in his sinuses. That's what those expeditions are looking for.
The cocaine skull.
Nach dem Kokainschädel.
The cocaine skull.
Und warum glauben die Leute, der Schädel wäre hier, in Martinet?
Here's the kicker. This designer, this lead designer of a world-famous design studio, was born in Martinez. A local boy, Martin Martinez. That's why he brought his studio here, back to where it all began. And that's why they buried him here, too. Perhaps right under Ab's pipe there.
Zeigt auf das Rohr.
Or probably further down the coast, or in some yard in Martinez proper. A hidden mausoleum, no one knows exactly.
No, my grandma always told me his grave lay somewhere on the islets on the bay.
This is ludicrous and physically impossible. Sinuses can contain that amount of anything.
Now, detective. Always the skeptic. My only question is, where does one get a shovel?
Was haben diese Expeditionen mit dem Schädel vor? Rosemary, du hattest eine kleine Insel erwähnt. Was hast du von den anderen Expeditionen in Erfahrung gebracht?
Don't listen to him or his grandma. He's just making things up.
No, my grandma told me. I've heard other people say it too. That it's underwater. Or no, maybe it was the storm sewers.
Or maybe it's in the air, or in an ancient state pyramid offshore.
In a pyramid? Now that would be something.
Was haben diese Expeditionen mit dem Schädel vor?
The archaeologists say they want to put it in a museum, the gangsters say they want to sell it on the black market, and the ad agency guys say they're seeking inspiration.
Bullshit. They just want to snort it. But you could beat them to it, Harry. You could snort the magic skull cocaine instead.
I'm pretty sure they all just want to snort it, though.
And why wouldn't they, eh? Sounds like right strong stuff.
Was hast du von den anderen Expeditionen in Erfahrung gebracht?
They're pretty vague about it in general. The gangsters like to claim they're looking for the grave of a friend, with picks and shovels. The archaeologists act all official about it, saying they're conducting serious research. Honestly, I think they're not really scientists, just rich. The junkies, for some reason, are pretty upfront about it. They just say they're looking to snort some blow out of a dead man's nasal cavity.
Honest men on an honest quest. You should join them.
By now, I'd say I know about as much about it as anyone on the coast.
Okay, ich bin überzeugt, suchen wir ihn.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on just a minute. Finding it right now is literally impossible.
What?
Warum?
For one, the way is blocked by that big lorry that says Delta Logistics Company on the side. You definitely have to search the area behind that lorry too, yet it is impassable. And second, outfitting an expedition like that is expensive. It'd have to be a big production to do the Cocaine Skull justice. You need new gear, people who know what they're doing, all kinds of provisions. It's just not feasible within the economic and temporal frame of our current setup. Matter of fact, unless a bunch of money just falls out of the sky, we might never know what's up with that skull.
I have to agree. We barely have what we need to solve the case we've got now. We can't afford to run around chasing after quasi-mythical pieces of drug
Ach,
paraphernalia.
Kim, wie lange kennst du mich jetzt schon?
Besides, it would look extremely bad for the RCM to be caught up in something that has the word cocaine writ large on it. The PR is tricky on this.
Verdammt, das ist echt schade. Wen kümmert's? Das war sowieso eine idiotische Idee. Das ist echt schade.
Wait. Maybe there's another way. Maybe up around the coast? Don't give up now.
Yeah, well, that's the reality situation for you. Who knows, though? Maybe someday we'll get our chance.
Hast du noch mehr Geschichten auf Lager?
Not that I can think of, currently.
Das leuchtet mir ein, du hast schließlich schon nicht schlecht gebechert.
That might be the case, yes.
Man sieht sich. Es hat uns tatsächlich Erfahrungspunkte gebracht, fehlen nur noch 10.
Uncle.
There's no...
Was wir noch machen können, das ist eine Idee, die mir jetzt gerade gekommen ist. Diesen Experten hier, wer sich für diese Firma interessiert, mal fragen, ob es eventuell andere Eingänge gibt, wenn sich mein Fernseher nicht gerade ausschalten will, das miese Arschloch. Hey, Experte.
Hello again.
Ich suche nach einer Verdächtigen. Haben Sie hier jemand Auffälliges gesehen?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here.
Er tätschelt den Kopf seines Sohnes.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone.
Wissen Sie von einer alternativen Methode ins Gebäude zu gelangen?
Alternative? I don't even have a mainstream way in, I'm afraid, although
Er deutet hinüber zum Schutzgeländer zu der Stelle, wo der Abwasserfluss ist.
there's a sewage pipe there. Maybe that does something? Sorry, I can't help more.
Pipes can be broken with force.
Können Sie mir einen Rat geben, wie ich diese Leiter hochkommen soll?
How to climb that ladder, you say? I do know that Lomantangs used sticks to climb battlements. There's even a special technique for that.
Können Sie es mir beibringen? Haben Sie die Stöcke bei sich?
No, I'm just speculating theoretically here. Of course, there's also the method ancient Ilmarans used to get into the huts of their enemies.
Echt abgefahren. Können Sie mir mehr über diese Methode erzählen?
If I'm not mistaken, then it involved months of following a very rigid exercise regimen. No, years.
Ich habe aber nicht jahrelang Zeit.
In this case, I suggest looking into the Zeolite Invisibles class. The word refers to their remarkable ability to traverse any environment in the most efficient way possible. There's this excellent investigative piece of journalism by...
Mir fehlt die Zeit, um Magazine zu lesen. Haben Sie vielleicht einen praktischen Rat für mich?
Yes, I have. There was this one time where I...
Oh no, you've made El Bigo Mistako. He's going to go on forever.
How to climb that ladder, you say? No, I'm just speculating. From an evolutionary point of view, you could see this building as a logical conclusion to the more traditional hut. In this case, I suggest looking into the Zeolite Invisibles class. The word refers to their remarkable ability to traverse any environment in the most efficient...
Great. Great to hear that.
Inspiration can go a long way in physical endeavors. You should try it again now. The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is...
Ich mache es.
Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
Ich hab's geschafft, Kim. Ich habe mich teleportiert. Du brüstest dich nicht damit, du stehst nur da wie ein samaranischer Meister. Das mache ich auch.
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear.
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring without backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here.
Aha! Kim hätte nicht gedacht, dass ich es schaffe, aber ich habe es geschafft. Nimm dies. Hatte die richtige Idee. Eine weitere Postkarte. Ah, bin ich jetzt wieder hoch? Scheiße. My bad. Dann rüsten wir mal die Taschenlampe aus. Eine Anzugsjacke. Bewirkt was genau? +1 Suggestion. Kommen Sie rein, Kim. Können Sie rausgucken.
2 rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
Wer da?
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get this door open.
Ja, Spaßbremse.
It's much easier from this side. The panels on the rails slide once you dust the sand off. With the help of your partner, from the other side, the doors open with a creak.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that.
Bereit?
Yes. Time to investigate these passages. Let's move quietly and not make more sound.
Not running is a great way to do that.
Und ein Level Up. Ja, fresset Scheiße. Na. Und ich habe einen Kommunistenhut. Dafür werden meine Kommunistenfreunde ganz schön neidisch sein.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. The plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait.
Sehen Sie noch, Kim? Es ist Genosse Mazov.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
Schon lange her? Wie lange?
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
Was hat das alles mit den geheimen Waffenverstecken und Bunkern auf sich?
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Vielleicht sollte ich hier einziehen. Wirkt gemütlich.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case.
Könnte das etwa mit der Mazov-Büste zu tun haben, die wir im Zimmer des Studenten gefunden haben?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
Könnte hier kürzlich jemand vorbeigekommen sein?
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Ich wische den Staub von dem Porträt.
Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly.
Ja, ich würde hier gerne raus. Hallo? Stiefelabdrücke im Sand. Eine der Sohlen scheint abgenutzter zu sein als die andere. Etwas liegt in der Luft. Ein unnatürliches Brummen. Tunnel ist eingestürzt. Du musst einen anderen Weg finden. Nicht rennen. Das Brummen wird lauter.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, spüren Sie etwas?
No. What do you mean?
Ein Schmerz, ein seltsames Kribbeln.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
Ich habe sie auch gesehen. Fußabdrücke, bei denen die rechte Sohle abgenutzt ist.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
Wie meinen Sie das?
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace, and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Wir haben herausgefunden, dass Devra plant, den Hafen zu übernehmen. Vielleicht sollten wir Joyce davon erzählen.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
Wir haben immer noch ein Date mit der Bullensau und meinem Revolver.
We absolutely cannot skip that appointment. Consider that 100% confirmed. I fear you'll need your gun for this.
His hand rests on his holster. It's not enough. You need a gun in your hand too. Your gun.
Was denken Sie, wie schlimm es kommen könnte?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
Er lächelt in der Dunkelheit.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
Was glauben Sie, was dort auf uns wartet?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Okay, das heißt... Phil dreht sich schön um. Denn ohne meinen Revolver gehe ich da nicht rein. Aber wie bringe ich jetzt die Zeit bis 22 Uhr rüber? Das ist eine Frage. Betritt die Höhle unter dem Feldgebäude, wenn du bereit bist. Hinweis, dies könnte deinen gewerkschaftlichen und kryptozoologischen Aktivitäten ein Ende setzen. Das ist es ja. Ich will unbedingt meinen Revolver. Aber wie bringe ich die Zeit rum?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope that...
Ich meine, ich kann mich nur auf eine Bank setzen, wenn er nicht dabei ist.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
Kitsuragi. Ah, du gehst mir auf den Sack. Dann kaufe ich halt noch die anderen Figuren für Dolores Day.
You see rows of toy soldiers, big men on big horses.
Franco-Nigerian knights.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps.
This is what the loyalists...
Which ones? Ah, those.
This set of soldiers isn't...
You're probably... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. I don't like either set very... Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
all the old...
Ah. Pimmel.
You keep coming back. That's good.
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay.
Gotta prepare for springtime.
Was kann der Anorak? +1 Beherrschung, +1 Schauder.
The shine on...
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth.
Komme ich hier irgendwie wieder raus? Ich wollte hier eigentlich gar nicht rein. Miss Oranje ist auf jeden Fall mal noch da.
Looking for something odd?
Der noch was zu sagen?
Right to work! Right to work!
Nö. Manana.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Nein. Dann kaufe ich mir halt noch mehr Bücher. Ich meine, was soll ich sonst machen? Ich darf mich nicht ausruhen, wenn Kim dabei ist. Ich habe keine Quests zu erledigen. Ich weiß gar nicht, wie lang es noch zu meinem letzten Gedanken dauert. Habe ich überhaupt noch einen? Der Aprikosen-Kaugummi, genau. Stunde 10.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extreme...
Oh yes, certainly. Another good sale.
Die Spiele bringen mir nichts, denke ich mal.
Shelves filled to the brim. Shelves full of biographies of fate.
A true cultural...
Ja, wir haben jetzt genug Bücher, die wir erstmal lesen können. Fangen wir mit Hjelmdal an.
The cover of this tattered paperback features the man from Hjelmdal standing atop a pile of bloody corpses. His two Zweihanders are crossed over his massive chest in a dramatic X, their blades dripping with gore.
Oh yeah!
Behind him, rise the harsh, snow-capped peaks of his native Northlands. In bold red letters, the title, Heimdall Man, the man from Heimdall, unfurls like a banner. In the foreground, a nearly nude woman lies spread in supplication, her privates strategically covered by her flowing black hair.
Ooh.
The back blurb reads, his latest adventure serves as the perfect introduction to the savage Heimdall saga. Meet man from Heimdall, his faithful blood brother, Tyribald, the noble Lord Hrothgar, and some of their most fearsome foes yet, for the Northlands, for Heimdall. Below, in smaller font, you see the parenthetical, adapted from Man from Heimdall and the Necromancer's Treasure, Man from Heimdall, Lord of Hrothgar, and Man from Heimdall, the Curse of Nacht-Hera. The story opens in media res. The man from Heimdall and his band of northern reavers are in the bowels of an ancient temple, surrounded by an army of gibbering wights, led by the deathless necromancer. One by one, the brave Northmen fall to the relentless crush of undead, only to join their number as reanimated corpses. By nightfall, only the man from Heimdall and his blood brother, noble Tyribald, are left standing against the dead horde. It is an honor to die by your side, brother, Tyribald cries, as his battle axe beheads one of their reanimated comrades.
Wow, jetzt stecken sie ganz schön in der Klemme.
9, Tyribald. The man from Heimdall bellows over the army of flesh and bone. Have courage for the Northlands, for Heimdall. He leaps to the mezzanine to face the black-eyed figure, and like a mad ice bear, whirling twin Zweihanders, Sturm and Drang, he plows through the ranks of the deathless, surrounding the necromancer. The writer has never held a sword in their life, let alone two two-handed swords at the same time. And with deadly finesse, his twin blades scissor the necromancer's head from its body. The undead legions collapse like ragdolls as the dark magic leaves them, and the two Northmen stand alone in their cursed temple, where the bodies of their lost brothers litter the floors. A few chapters later, the man from Heimdall and Tyribald are in a completely different setting, high above an arid desert, riding a pair of griffins that always seem to appear at narratively convenient moments. This book makes a mockery of the very idea of good plotting, though something tells you coherence was never the point. The Northmen find themselves in the court of a powerful southern king, Lord Hrothgar. The old king beseeches the man from Heimdall to rid his kingdom of the Nacht-Hera, a subterranean clan of blind wizards who traded their souls for demonic powers. The man from Heimdall extracts a high price from the desperate king. He asks land for the homeless desert pygmies living exiled in the kingdom's borderlands. Hrothgar offers the hand of his eldest daughter instead, but the son of winter does not budge.
Moment mal, warum macht der Mann von Heimdall das alles überhaupt?
What do you mean?
Warum macht er das alles?
Because the flame of justice burns bright within his chest. Because, above all, he's driven to bring honor to the name of his beloved Heimdall. Because his noble Cutland blood lusts for glory and conquest. It cannot be denied.
Ist das alles?
What do you mean, is that all?
Macht sein Charakter sonst noch etwas aus?
He is the man from Heimdall, forged in the fury of battle. Death was his sire, and blood his dam. He had but 14 winters when he left his frigid homelands in Cutler to seek glory and honor. That is his character. He doesn't even have a real name. What is inside this man? Or is muscle and bone all he is?
Okay, aber hat er irgendwelche inneren Konflikte? Ja, schon kapiert, er ist stark und hat große Schwerter, aber warum sollte mich sein Charakter interessieren?
What are you, a book critic?
Das bin ich tatsächlich. Ich bin nämlich ein gottverdammter künstlerischer Bulle.
Enough. You're ruining the pacing of the story. Now where did you leave off? Ah yes. What pacing? You skip past a section detailing an elaborate banquet with many toasts, as well as the long and perilous journey from Hrothgar's Keep to the ancient forest of Yesdar, where our heroes infiltrate the Nachtherre's dire hall. In the center of the Great Hall stands a blood altar on which a pair of Nachtherre are disemboweling a shrieking peasant, an unholy rite that empowers the Nachtherre forbidden magic. As the vile ceremony ends, the sound of steel unsheathing draws the Nachtherre's attention to a pair of cloaked figures standing in the doorway. Swiftly, the visitors toss off their cloaks and unsheathe glimmering northern steel. It's the man from Heimdall and his valiant blood brother, Tyribald.
Wer sollte es auch sonst sein? Wow, das habe ich überhaupt nicht kommen sehen.
In an instant, the Nachtherre summon a horde of gibbering orcanoids who rush our heroes. The hall fills with the clang of blades and the screams of the dying as the floor goes slick with steaming orcanoid viscera. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Ach du. Aber es gibt Erfahrungspunkte, also das beste Buch, was ich je gekauft habe, schon 30 Punkte für gekriegt.
When the din of battle settles, only the man from Heimdall and Tyribald remain standing. Exhausted and dripping with the entrails of their foes, the two Northmen confront the foul Nachtherre. The man from Heimdall's soda-like blue eyes fill with indescribable fury. For the Northlands, he cries, rushing headlong into a desperate melee.
Mach sie alle, Heimdaller Mann!
He probably is, but you can't be sure, cause this one ends in a cliffhanger and a footnote saying, to be continued in Heimdaller Man at the Gates of Tomorrow. Coming soon to your local bookstore. Considering the sheer amount of different Heimdaller Man books out there, it's very unlikely you're ever gonna find the sequel. The man from Heimdall stares at you on the cover, his face fixed in grim resolve.
Arschlöcher. Dann halt die großen Schuld rein.
The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego. The book is large and heavy.
Ich schlage den riesigen Band auf.
Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow, the sprawl of names, dates, places, events historical. Most of it ends up as a twisted mass of facts inside your brain. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. Let's see what you've learned. This might take a few minutes. You ready?
Sicher, warum nicht?
That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first Innocence? Oh yeah, this is what I was made for.
Dolores Day?
Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. She codified parliamentary democracy and created modern institutions. Among these, the moral intern, she was powerful and beautiful on all her icons. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And when you think her name, Dolores, stomach acid rises to the back of your throat, and it hurts. You see a flash silver, a wreath, an airport bag, and blonde hair. You don't know why. Another choice, perhaps? Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one.
Was?
A strange sensation of loss. When she left the earth, the dust, and the ice, and the humans. That is unimportant to the quiz. Stop thinking about this.
Na gut, dann gib mir alle Hinweise, die du auf Lager hast.
A pop quiz is a short examination designed to test your knowledge without any prior warning or announcement. Such exams allow the teacher to assess how thoroughly the students have retained the material at hand. Voila! Now blast that first innocence. Thanks for nothing. Dolores Day. Dolores.
Das stimmt aber nicht. Solar?
Incorrect.
Verdammt.
Solar was anointed during the previous century and even lived to see the current one. She was an urban planner who spoke her mind and largely left history to its own devices, encouraging people to excel on their own, rather than prescribing to a deified model of history. She is often called an anti-innocence. Sola resigned after an assassination attempt by a Yugo nationalist who blamed her for not taking the side of the left during the turn-of-the-century revolutions. Innocences don't usually resign. Care to try again?
Der Pericarnassier.
Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as a young man with molten gold pouring out of his mouth. All he spoke was gold. It's said he invented God and equality of men before God. He also introduced the gold standard as a way for measuring people's love for Aurum. As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more of those like him. It is presumed his disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party, the founding party. Question 2. Who was the strongest innocence? Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody.
Klar, versuchen wir es einfach nochmal. Du wirst mir sicherlich helfen.
An innocence is the highest category of historical personage in the world, a literal personification of history. Traditionally, an innocence, when anointed, assumes supreme rule over the Occident or the known world in general.
Diesmal ist es Dolores Day.
At least the parts that matter.
Ja, ja, wirklich interessant, aber ich dachte, du gibst mir vielleicht die Antwort auf die Frage.
I can do better. Okay, so commonly an innocence does not enforce his or her power through military power. This is seen as unnecessary. The innocence wins because an innocence can't help but win, for their deeds are inevitabilities. Did this help?
Nein.
Damn. Dolores.
Dolores Day.
Incorrect again.
Verdammt.
While she originated many modern institutions, launched several successful expeditions, and was even critical of the innocentic system itself, and somehow keeps popping up in your mind, she is not often considered the strongest. Even though the words most associated
Oh Gott,
with
ich
her
werde schon wieder
rule
Moral
are
verlieren.
l'amour, la compassion, la autodiscipline, love, compassion, self-control, which could be seen as facets of strength. Would you like to try again? Please, relax.
Vespa Messina?
Incorrect. Vespa Messina is not a person, but a defunct state on the
So
southeastern
scheiße.
coast of the Occident. It used to take up most of the peninsula before separating into the republics of Vespa and Messina. Care to try again?
Franco Negro?
Correct. Named the innocence of militarism, he codified hereditary rule, but at the same time ended serfdom and established the Inter-Isolari Real as the global reserve currency. He also established the concept of the nation. Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between the aristocracy and bourgeoisie by building a unified society in which every man has a place and a mission, but at the same time may rise to nobility provided on the strength of his virtue. Question 3. Who was the false innocence? Got it under control. No problem. Solid on this one. It's widespread historical information.
Wirst du mir diesmal behilflich sein? Ich könnte einen Hinweis gebrauchen.
Yes, there exists a group called the Founding Party, known as the Holy Party, during the time of the Pericarnassian. This, the world's oldest international organization, spends its time in search of either the re-emergence of the innocents or new members. There seems to be a mix-up with the sources. It's not my fault. At least it clearly wasn't Dolores Day. She wouldn't be false. She's beautiful.
Dolores. Stefan der Verächtliche? Stepan der Verächtliche? Nein, Stepan ist der... Kedra?
Incorrect. Kedra is a large nation in the mid-northern area of the Mawindi Isola. north of the Occident, between the Ilmarin mountain range and the Pacific Mare Interregnum.
Pass auf, es ist Dolores,
Care
oder?
to try again?
Dolores?
No, stop thinking it. I said it wasn't her. She was true.
Stepan, der Verächtliche.
Incorrect. Stepan the Despicable, regent of Kedra,
Ey,
was a
wie oft
ruler
kann ich
who
denn immer
conquered
falsch
the
liegen?
known world during the Kedriatic conquest, instead of the despotic Erno Pasternak. Would you try again?
Erne Pasternak?
Correct. There have been a number of counter or false innocences, some assumed to have innocentic qualities, some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside the ecclesiastic organization, and accusations of foul play have arisen.
Wenigstens vergeht mehr Zeit, wenn ich falsch antworte, weil ich mehr Text kriege.
The most famous and important of these was Ernau Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism, hymns, cannons, and world conquest, but got defeated and humiliated by Stepan the Despicable of Kedra. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important one. Question 4. Who was the greatest innocent?
Diesmal ist es Dolores.
The most important of them all. The most precious to humankind. I've got it. Honest.
Okay, bist du dir diesmal wirklich sicher? Also gut, dann gib mir einen Tipp.
Of course, this is my thing. The reason I exist in this world. The correct answer is Franco Negro.
Bist du dir auch absolut sicher?
Zero doubts.
Dolores Day.
Correct.
Ha!
The Mesk might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence, a most radical change to the whole fabric of the world. Everything from inter-esolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to her. Every decade that passes, she seems less human somehow, and more beautiful. Congratulations on finishing the test. The results and your subsequent grade have been calculated. You get an F for failure. Ha ha ha. You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
Verfluchtes, arrogantes Buch.
What's going on with you?
Hält sich für so schlau, das verdammte Ding.
Okay. You are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No wonder you seem to have trouble with the right answers. Browsing through your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. It seems rather unfair to try again after you already know the answers. But sure, if this makes you feel better, here we go again. Question 1. Who was the first innocence? Oh yeah, this is what I was made for. Correct. Nothing much as the first. Question 2. Easy. Everybody knows the answer to. Correct. Franco Negro at question 3. Got it under control. No problem. Correct. The most famous and final stretch. I've got it. Honest. Correct. Everything from congratulations. An A. All correct. Impressive. Oddly so. You really navigated some treacherous waters here. Well done.
Diesmal habe ich dich erwischt. Jetzt bist du plötzlich nicht mehr so schlau, was?
The lieutenant is doing his best to ignore your behavior. Yeah, sure. It's so much easier once you know the answers, right?
Halt's Maul.
Apricot chewing gum scented one. August 2nd. Early late summer. You're getting off the streetcar in Le Jardin, east of the river. Her father and mother are middle class. The nylon of her little jacket rustles next to you in the dark like autumn leaves. Her heels click on the pavement. You're walking up to the gate in front of her parents' house. She takes out her chewing gum and you kiss her. A feeling like electricity flows through your whole body. Immediately, you know that you've entered a completely different world.
Nochmal +2 Wahrnehmung. Also, Wahrnehmung kann mich niemand mehr pisten, aber tatsächlich, ey. Guck euch das mal an. 13. Wer braucht 13 Wahrnehmung, verdammt? Ich bräuchte ein bisschen mehr visuelles Kalkül. Eieiei. Und meine Augen-Hand-Koordination ist auch schon ziemlich arschig. Leck mich am Arsch, Spiel. Leck mich so hart am Arsch. Es ist immer noch erst 15:10 Uhr. Ich weiß nicht, was ich noch tun soll, um Zeit zu vertreiben bis an Abend. Wir haben echt nichts zu tun, ne? Ja gut, dann werde ich versuchen, einen Zeitvertreib zu finden. Nochmal ein paar Bücher lesen oder so, keine Ahnung, bis es spät am Abend ist. Ich meine Knarre zurückholen kann, mit Miss Oranje reden kann und dann können wir die andere Dame verfolgen. Ich hätte meine Quest nicht so schnell erledigen sollen, das war ein Fehler. Scheiß Rollenspielerei.